Hey everyone, I'm here with Diana from the Movement Travel blog. Thanks for joining me.
Of course.
We just had a lovely brunch. It was awesome. So Diana's story is pretty awesome. She's been on my podcast, but she's a former lawyer who's now a travel blogger. So tell us, when did you leave the legal profession and why?
So I left the legal profession back in March of 2017, so it's been just over 2 years. Basically left because I didn't like the lifestyle that I had as a lawyer. It was too many hours in an office, dealing with a bunch of negative people, fighting people in court. It wasn't the kind of life I wanted. I wanted a lot more freedom in my life. I wanted to be able to travel more and work from my computer and pick up whenever I wanted, and just really live my life. I didn't want to be old and gray one day and look back and feel like I didn't live my life to the fullest, as cliche as that sounds.
So for someone that doesn't have a blog or doesn't really know, what does a travel blogger do?
Travel blogger first and foremost travels, and then we write about our travels. We share it with the community, we share it with our friends and our followers, we share tips and tricks. Every travel blogger is a little bit different depending on what kind of niche they're in. So for instance, I do a lot of adventure travel. I do a lot of hiking. I did Kilimanjaro a couple years ago. I did the Salcantay trek in Peru this year. Next year I'm doing Patagonia. So that's kind of something I really like. Some travelers focus on food, for instance, and they blog about all the cool foods you can try around the world and restaurants and bars and things like that. Other travel bloggers, focus on traveling with young kids. So every travel blogger has their own little niche. You can really blog about whatever kind of travel you like to do in your own life.
Cool. So what are some of the top 3 coolest experiences that you've had as a travel blogger over the past year?
So one of my favorite places in the world is Iceland, for sure. I've been there 3 or 4 times. Just shows you how obsessed I am with it. And it's been so awesome working with the brands there. All the brands I've worked with there have been super professional and super nice and hospitable and welcoming. They've set everything up for me very well. I've also really enjoyed my month-long trip around Southeast Asia. That was a lot of fun as well. That was a different experience, and that was one of my first trips I took after I quit my job as a lawyer, so I was very excited and very ready to dive into this new life of mine. And third, I would probably have to say it's between 2 trips I took in Europe, one around Slovenia and one around Bulgaria. I think both of those countries are so underrated. People don't really go there, people don't really talk about it, but I had some of my best experiences in those 2 countries. And all the people there were so friendly. I worked with brands the whole way moving through the country, and everybody was treated me like family, even though I had just met them, and I loved that.
So that sounds awesome, and I think as you know, my course Blogging for Profit, it launched on Thursday, and it's open for sign up through Sunday only at goldcityventures.com. But Diana was nice enough to give an extra bonus lesson about how she did all these things completely for free and got paid for some of them as well. So if those of you who are loving travel out there, this is a way that you can kind of combine your passion and make it into somewhat of a business. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun, so it doesn't feel too much like work.
No, it's work, but it's fun work.
So tell us a little bit about the bonus lesson that you contributed to the course.
So the bonus lesson is all about how you can get sponsored travels as a travel blogger. And I go into tips for how to set up your travel blog, first of all, and then how to find the brands to pitch to, and then finally how to pitch the brands. And I always say that pitching brands, that part of being a travel blogger is so similar to being a lawyer, because as a lawyer we were always taking a set of facts and highlighting the facts that were advantageous to our case, and then it kind of downplaying the rest of it. It's when you pitch to brands. I got my first brand sponsorship 3 months into blogging. I had hardly any readers on my blog. I had hardly any Instagram followers. I did not have the numbers that people think they need to have before working with brands. But it's all about how you paint yourself, into this blossoming new travel blogger who's gonna become a huge deal in a year, and they're gonna have to pay thousands to work with you, but right now I'll work with you for free. It's all about how you spin it. So I talk a lot about that in the bonus materials, and obviously if you go through Julie's blogging course first, then you'll be totally set up to do all the sponsored trip stuff.
Cool. Well, that's super awesome. I have not taken a sponsored trip yet, but I'm very tempted.
Yes.
And I'll definitely be taking some of the lessons that you taught in there for sure. So if people want to follow your travel blog, where can they find you?
So we're at www.mvmtblog.com, and then on Instagram we're at The Movement Blog, so you can find us there.
Awesome. Thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.